Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today I'm doing a rapid-fire review of Teaquinox from the OP. Rapid-fire reviews are a format on the channel where I attempt to give you a brief overview of the game and my thoughts and opinions in 10 minutes or less, and we're going to do that with Teaquinox. We'll see if we make it, but let's start off with the basic general overview. This is not a rules overview, this is a quick how to play. You're going to be playing across 4 rounds. You're going to be trying to get as many points as possible by the end of it, which is mostly going to come through fulfilling orders. What you're going to do in this game is you're going to start each round by basically going through a bit of a push your luck mechanism, where you play a card, and you possibly will gain various things onto the card, or various abilities, add a coin to the next card, and you keep going as long as you want, but unfortunately, you might eventually bust. Now, the first 3 cards are safe. Normally, you'd be doing this under your board over here. You have a hex word over your first 3 spots so that they're totally safe. But then after that, after those first 3, at any point, like I already have 3 colors here, if I draw another color of which I already have, I'll bust. I'll just draw one more. Wait, no. This one more has me must draw 2 more cards. Let's put it in reveals there. Must draw 2 more cards. So we have one more and one more. Those are 2 familiars. We're great. We're going to stop now. If we had kept going, we would have busted. We'd have another pink witch over here, and we'd bust. So the first thing you do every turn is you're playing a push your luck mechanism, which is both going to give you the witches whose orders you need to fulfill. These witches over here, they need those color teas from the center pool over here in order to fulfill those witches, after which they'll become loyal customers, which is good and bad, because loyal customers you can plan around, and they're in your queue, and they're not in your deck making you bust, but it does mean that over time, you're building up more demand of what you need to do every single round. After you're done with the push your luck element, you're going to go ahead and take your TeaPups over here, and you're going to engage in a worker placement game on this center puzzle. You're going to be putting these TeaPups out onto various spots in order to gain the benefits on that spot, gain the resources, as well as take the abilities of the various spots. You can go to May Special Teas to get special ability cards. You can go here to get Celebrity customers, which can give you extra benefits when you fulfill them. Over here, my personal favorite spot, you get upgrades. Upgrades are going to help you put teas into them and convert them to various things. You can duplicate teas, get 1 red tea, make it 3 red teas. All kinds of abilities go in here, or some nice point scoring at the end of the game. Red teas in here are worth up to 15 points if you store them. Over here, we can go to the serve the tea hags, the hex wards over here. They're the hex hag. Serve a hex hag, get the resources, pay the resources, get the points, as well as possibly buying a hex ward, which can go onto your board, giving you extra benefits as you place witches there. And then lastly, over here, you can get 2 go orders. These are orders you're going to start the game with 1, but you can get more of them. These allow you to potentially serve 2 go orders with your TeaPups based on the tea that they have inside them as you take tea from the various spots, as well as the location of these rings around here. You're going to do that for 4 rounds. I know this is a very loose teach, but the basic idea is it's a push your luck for the first part of the turn, followed by 3 worker placements where you're going to be placing your various TeaPups out onto the board in order to gather resources. Technically, by the way, you have 2 at first. You'll be getting a 3rd after you enter day 3. Do that for 4 rounds, see who has the most points, and that is how you play Teaquinox. Which brings us to a rapid fire review, starting off with the first question. Am I keeping the game? Unfortunately not, which is also super disappointing because when I first played this game, I was actually really excited about it. I played 2 rounds. This is going to factor into my review over here. I played 2 rounds of this at PAX Unplugged 2024, I want to say. I really enjoyed those 2 rounds and I was excited to dive back into it. And then when I did dive back into it, I didn't like it quite as much, which brings us to the next question. Why or why not? Ultimately, I think the game outstays its welcome. That's my biggest critique. I'd say there's 2 critiques. There's a few critiques of the game. There's things I like, but there's a few small critiques. The first thing is that this game runs too long for what it's doing, which is weird because usually a 4-round game, I'm like, I want it to be longer, but the 4 rounds ultimately ends up feeling a little repetitive. Your engine doesn't get really that significantly better as you go, so there's not like a degree of watching your engine get better. You're just doing the same things for 4 rounds in a game that can easily run into 2.5, 3 hours for a game that doesn't feel like it should be 2.5, 3 hours. Teaquinox just feels like it should be like an hour-long game. It says 30 minutes per player. I think it's a slightly optimistic. I think even a 3-player game is going to run you at least 2 hours, probably 2.5. Maybe if you get better or faster, I don't know, but after a few plays, I'd say it's a 2.5-hour game for even 3 players. And for me, that's too long for what I'm getting out of the experience. There are many games I can play for 3 hours and love them. Teaquinox is a game that 2 rounds of it was great. Playing 4 rounds feels like it's outstaying its welcome. This is the difference between demoing a game and being excited for it and then diving into it and being like, you know what? I'd rather spend my time playing something else. The other big issue I have with it, there's a few small complaints, but the other big issue I have is the push your luck is way, way too much of an influence factor on the game. You can dive into the first round and someone can get 6 cards out, and you can dive into the first round and someone else can get 3 cards out, and that has a big impact on how much you're able to do and the extra things you're going to get, and the push your luck feels almost out of place because there's very little mitigation around it. There's very little things you can actually do. It just feels like, let's just guess at how many cards we can play. It doesn't work as well as it might work in another game that actually has push your luck as the central focus of it. For a game that runs this long and can leave you stuck because of a bad draw, the push your luck feels too impactful. The other thing I don't love is the fact that when you buy machines, you buy upgrades over here, you don't really get them until the end of the round, which means for a game that's only 4 rounds, even though 4 rounds feels too long, the coolest part of it, you can't really get them right away. You have to resolve them after, which means there's this timing sequence over here which doesn't feel as satisfying. It feels like you're only dealing with machines for 3 rounds instead of 4 rounds in a game where my favorite part of the game is the machines that you get. So overall, there's too many things that get in the way of the experience that have me not as excited as I was when I first dove into it. Which brings me to other similar games. What other games can you get if you want games like this? First of all, check out Quacks of Quedlinburg if you want a charming push your luck game where the game is focused around the push your luck. The whole game is push your luck. There's no other questions or decisions. It's just a push your luck engine. So Quacks of Quedlinburg, if you like push your luck, that's a game that does it well. And if you want a game which gives you the machine fun that you get out of this one, because again, my favorite part of Teawitches is the machines and the teas going into them and duplicating on my board and all that stuff, check out Whistle Mountain. Whistle Mountain has you playing with machines galore as you try to manipulate and get as much out of each machine as you possibly can. As far as a counter opinion, there's several aspects going on here. First of all, the general presentation is amazing. Not that that's good enough, but it is when I give you other reasons too. The presentation, the art, the puns, every single card is chock full of puns over here, which are absolutely amazing. All of that's great. So if you're here for the vibes are delivering. Past that, like I said already, the machines are a lot of fun. Building up your own little personal board with a bunch of machines, that's easily my favorite part of the game. There's a nice little area of tableau building. It's not a lot of tableau building, but the tableau that you do get is watching your machines get more powerful and how much you're able to do on your turn get more powerful. Additionally, the challenge of placing out onto the board as you rotate this center board over here, trying to get all the various things you need, trying to time out, well, I really want this action over here. The actions get weaker generally as you go, so first come, first serve to each area is important, and trying to figure out where do you want to go. Maybe I want to get a celebrity, maybe I want to get some abilities over here. How am I going to factor into the upgrades? This spot, which I really tell you at the beginning, that's going to give you residual upgrades show up there instead, and you can get last turn's upgrades in that spot. There's a lot of things that you can do in this that it's a fun little challenge of trying to make it all work. The to-go orders in particular, when you have a bunch of to-go orders that you're able to satisfy based on the positioning of the pups in various sectors, that feels like an incredibly satisfying little puzzle to get extra points out of, that's just based off extra points and resources as well, just based off of being able to time things right based on your own pups as well as other players' pups, as well as where the fountain is pointed to at that given point in time. So overall, there is a fun puzzle going on. There's a fun worker placement puzzle going on here. My biggest issue is the push your luck, and then the push your luck feeling out of place, and then the length of the game and outstaying its welcome. As far as final thoughts on Teawitches, overall I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately primarily because I was so excited after I first played this. The biggest challenge is, to me, my ratings reflect an actual opinion of an actual meaning. So you can check out down below if you want to see what my ratings mean. But a 3, it doesn't hit that level of a 3.5 where I feel sad that I can't play it more. It's a fine game. I've had fun playing it. Because it outstays its welcome, it doesn't go to that 3.5 area. This is a game that I've enjoyed my time with it, and now I'm fine letting go of it. In any case, until next time, that has been my review, my rapid-fire review of Teawitches from the Op. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you found this video helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.